Merhabalar. Bugün yanımızda Simon Dubbins United Union Sendikası uluslararası temsilcisi, özel temsilcisi Simon Dubbins bizlerle. Simon Dubbins'le özellikle hem Öcalan'a özgürlük kampanyasını hem de ayrıca Durham'daki Durham Madenciler Festivali'ni konuşacağız. Durham'dan hazırladığımız özel yayında mikrofonu Simon Dubbins'e uzatacağız. Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Hello. So we are in Durham. So there is on the 14th there will be the big day, the festival, the march as well. So what is the importance of it? What we should see in the festival that it's dedicated to Öcalan?
The Durham Miners Gala is, I think it's 150 years old, possibly more than that. It is the biggest and most important trade union and labour movement festival. It takes place every year. Last year, I think it was about 150 to 200,000 people. It's been growing each year in the last 10 years or so. And although the miners are gone, the mines have gone from the UK, the miners' union was always seen as very much the backbone of the trade union movement, the labour movement as a whole. So this festival is really important because it's seen as very much the guardian of our values, of our movement. It represents it. Nowadays, it's just a much broader trade union, Labour Party and socialist event, but it is the biggest one. It's hugely important. They guard jealously who they select as their speakers and which themes that they select as the key ones. So for the Durham Miners Association and this gala to select Freedom for Öcalan as its main campaign theme this year is hugely, hugely important. It means the message about Öcalan will be brought to hundreds of thousands of people that probably are not familiar with it yet. It gives it a huge amount of publicity, but also political support and endorsement. That's massively important and shouldn't be underestimated. And we hope this will be simply the beginning of starting to spread this out to other countries that have similar festivals as well and building the campaign.
This is also what I want to ask you is what is next? Like, because this is a step for the Kurds in Britain and also in Europe as well. It's a big step forward. So what is next? Like, because this also Freedom for Öcalan campaign, I want to talk about that as well. It's going to get bigger and bigger. So what do you think was going to happen in the next step?
Well, as you say, this is a huge step. In the last 2 years, in quite a short space of time, we've built the trade union Freedom for Öcalan campaign, and we now have affiliated, I think it's 15 or so of the biggest trade unions in the UK, and our confederation endorses the campaign and encourages all unions to affiliate and support it. I think that's been really important in terms of breaking the taboo around Öcalan, getting people to understand it and bringing it to a wider audience, and that's gone very fast. This is without doubt now the next level. For it to become the main theme at the Durham Miners Gala this year is enormous. The next steps, as we see it, is we've got to keep the momentum building and keep it building fast. So we're already discussing, assuming this all goes well on Saturday, we want to meet with colleagues in the German, the French, the Spanish, Italian labour movements and show them with the films, with the pictures, everything, what we've done, explain why we've done it. We've been raising the issue within our international organisations anyway on a regular basis. They're becoming more and more familiar and understanding it better. And I think with the growing concern around Erdogan and what's happening and the situation in Syria and people understanding how important the Kurds are in the general fight for freedom, I'm absolutely confident that from this springboard, we will now be able to really mobilise internationally and build the pressure that we need to get him released and to get the issue of the Kurdish struggle addressed properly.
In the Kurdish struggle history, honestly, the most important thing was like to get involved the Westerns as well.
Yes.
So you as a Britons get involved with the unions, which is the most important solidarity, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you think the Kurds should see in this? Like, is it a solidarity? Is it how do you name this support?
Yeah, it is absolutely solidarity, and I think it's an expression of solidarity in a very concrete way. It's not simply that we're wearing a sticker or carrying a flag. It will also find a political expression within the Labour Party, and we hope that we'll soon have a Labour government again on a much better line in these issues. But the Kurdish people have the expression that's often used, they have no friends but the mountains.
Yes, this is what was I going to tell you as well.
Well, we want the Kurds to understand that they haven't just got mountains as friends, but they've got real solid people, hundreds of thousands of them, hopefully millions of them, that are progressive, that are of the left, that recognise their struggle is our struggle is their struggle. And that in this critical region of the world, we recognise these are our comrades, these are our friends, these are the people that we want to support and to work with. So I think that's enormously important. What we'd also say to the Kurdish community is we need you to get involved in trade unions, to get involved in the Labour Party. You need to break out of your own community to broaden this campaign. It needs the support of non-Kurdish people. It's absolutely vital that they get involved with this and support it. So that's got to be a two-way process, and we understand the difficulties. Sometimes people, if they're newly arrived, languages are different, they're not familiar with structures, they're not familiar with the traditions and the momentum of the left here. But we need you involved in our structures as well. We need you involved in our struggles, in the workplace, in the offices, and in our political parties as well.
Also, Freedom for Ocalan Campaign, which point it reached now? Where is it now? Like, it's getting bigger every day. The lately Prospect Union,
yeah.
I guess they joined. So which point did it come now? Is it, what do you expect it, or can you say that it's gonna get bigger and bigger every day from now on?
I'm absolutely convinced it will get bigger and bigger. What we have in our British trade union movement,
mostly the unions are joined already. Most of them are joined.
Yeah.
So how it's gonna get bigger? Like, what is the situation now? And what's going to be on the next? What do you think?
Look, I think what's important is, as a movement, we've got a long history of solidarity and taking political action and solidarity with peoples and comrades that find themselves under oppression and struggle. I think it's very fair to say the British trade union movement was at the front of the anti-apartheid struggle. That's why Nelson Mandela came here when he was released. We've absolutely led the way in the struggle in solidarity with the Palestinians and solidarity with the Cuban people and so on. So we've got an experience and we understand how to build these types of organisations and movements. And what I would say is, yes, we've grown very quickly. We've got the major unions affiliated. Our TUC supports this position, Freedom for Ocalan, and solidarity with the Kurdish people. But there's still a long way to go. These are the national executives, the national structures. Where we've got to grow more is we've actually got to take it down to the grassroots. We have to make sure that the regions, the regional structures of our national organisations also understand why the union has adopted this position. that it finds a place on our education courses, that our branches and our shop stewards in the workplace understand properly why their union is undertaking this and support it properly themselves and actively. So yeah, we've made terrific progress. We've got the national unions affiliated, the position's right, we're getting it out there, the festival's adopted, but I still think we've got a hell of a lot of work to do to build that momentum on the ground as well and make sure that our members adopt it and understand it.
Okay, lastly, also in regard of Durham Miners Festival dedicated to Ocalan, what is your message to the Kurds?
Well, I think from the Durham Miners Gala, the message to the Kurdish people will be, look, it's arrived here, we understand it properly. This is the biggest festival that we have every year, and we have made a public, very visible stance of saying, we call for the freedom for Abdullah Öcalan. You are not alone. We stand in solidarity with you. We know there are forces that are trying to isolate you, stop you being heard, that are happy to bomb your cities and terrorise your population. But as I said before, it's not the case that you're only friends of the mountains. You've got friends outside of that who are going to stand with you and fight your cause with you shoulder to shoulder.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Pleasure.
Thank you.